All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to break down a sales psychology shift that is so simple, yet so powerful. It's all about getting away from defending your price and instead really showing the value you deliver. Oh, this one hurts, doesn't it? You've just given this amazing pitch, you've laid out all the benefits, and then you get hit with that wall. It's just too expensive. It feels like a total dead end. But what if I told you that most of the time, the price isn't the real problem? What if the real issue is that you and your customer are talking about two completely different things? Let's dive into that. Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, the first step is realizing you're almost always selling to two different mindsets, even when you're just talking to one person. It really is all about knowing your audience. Think of this slide as our whiteboard for today. On one side, you have a parent looking at an undergraduate degree for their kid. What's on their mind? Security, job placement, a safe campus. On the other side, you've got a professional looking at an MBA. They're thinking about return on investment, career moves, and a bigger salary. See? Same industry, education, but two totally different sets of motivations. And getting this difference right is, well, it's everything. And nothing proves that better than a real story about a sales pitch that went completely off the rails because of this exact mistake. Let's get into our case study. This is the story of two sales calls, one very skeptical dad and a 6 lakh rupee decision that hinged on one crucial idea. So let's meet the players. We've got Mr. Sharma, a classic middle-class father who is, very protective of his hard-earned money. He's looking at a BBA program for his daughter. And then there's the price tag, a hefty 6 lakhs. You can already feel his guard going up. So the first salesperson, let's call him Vikram, gets on the phone. Mr. Sharma immediately pushes back on the price. And what does Vikram do? He starts justifying it. He lists off all the features, the smartboards, the AC, the fancy faculty. He's selling the inputs, all the things the college spends money on. And Mr. Sharma's response? Oof. It's a complete shutdown. He couldn't care less about the AC or the smartboards. Vikram was pitching the campus, but Mr. Sharma was trying to buy his daughter's future. Total disconnect. And so, what happens? Vikram hangs up, marks the lead not interested, budget issue, and moves on. This exact thing probably happens thousands of times a day in sales offices. But here's the thing. It's the wrong diagnosis. And that's the multi-million-dollar question, isn't it? Was it really about the money? Or could a different approach have changed everything? Let's see what happens next. Okay, so now let's bring in our second salesperson, Rahul. He calls Mr. Sharma, and guess what? He gets the exact same objection about the 6 lakh fee. But Rahul's response, well, it's like he's playing a completely different sport. Rahul doesn't talk about the campus features. He doesn't justify anything. He completely reframes his role. He stops being a salesperson and starts acting like an investment advisor. Let's break down Rahul's strategy right here on our whiteboard. It's a beautiful 4-step process. First, you agree and empathize. Second, you reframe the cost as an investment. Third, you focus on the return. And fourth, you back it all up with social proof. It's just brilliant. This right here, this is the pivot, the most critical part of the entire call. First, he makes Mr. Sharma feel heard. Yes, it's a lot of money. Then, with one sentence, he changes the entire game. It's not a cost you pay, it's an investment you make. Then, he moves from an idea to cold, hard facts. He brings up their internship program and then drops this incredibly powerful number. Over 70% of their students get a job offer before they even graduate. Now, that's not a feature. That's a result. That is the output. And this is the knockout punch. Rahul connects everything directly to what Mr. Sharma truly cares about, his daughter's security and success. He's not selling a piece of paper. He's selling the promise of her first paycheck. And the result? A complete turnaround. Mr. Sharma goes from "it's too expensive" to "send me the link." The sale isn't closed yet, no, but the door has been blown wide open. So what can we all learn from Vikram and Rahul's story? It all comes down to one simple, powerful difference. So here's the big idea we've been building towards. It's the difference between input and output. Inputs are your features, the infrastructure, the stuff you spend money on. The output? That's what your customer actually gets. The employability, the return on investment, the peace of mind. Vikram was selling the inputs. Rahul? He sold the output. And Mr. Sharma, like almost every customer you will ever meet, was only ever interested in buying the output. So if you take one thing away from this today, let it be this. The next time a customer says you're too expensive, stop defending your price. Just stop. Instead, shift the conversation. Start selling the return. And that leaves us with a final question for you to really think about. Look at your own product, your own pitch. What input are you still talking about? What feature are you justifying when you should be talking about the incredible output it creates for your customer? The answer to that question could change absolutely everything for you.